Welcome to the Fantasy HQ podcast, all things NRL fantasy. Find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Facebook. Your hosts, Frosty and Steve-O.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy HQ podcast, all things NRL fantasy. And Frosty, we're heading into a bye round, very important one. It might be hard for a lot of coaches to play with 13. So tonight we are going to be talking positional players and options that you might have, mainly focusing on middles, edges, halves, and wing fullbacks. We may touch on centres and hookers tomorrow night, but those options are pretty limited and pretty straightforward, I think. So, Frosty, are you looking forward to this one? And just quickly, how many players are you looking at playing with this weekend?
Yeah, really looking forward to this one, Steve-O. Sort of the midpoint of the season, isn't it? That second major bye. And so we're sort of trying to shake the teams up for this, as well as 18, and then hopefully for the run home without too many major trades being needed. So I'm currently looking at 12, and I don't think that'll change because as we get into it tonight, I'm one short on the wing fullback. But yeah, with the options this week, I'm not too stressed.
I'm much the same, to be honest. It's probably going to be 12. Wing fullback, which we're going to touch on probably last, is I reckon the hardest position to cover this weekend. The options are pretty ugly. Like anyone that you're going to bring in, you don't really want to keep. So pretty difficult, but we'll talk more on that shortly. First off, we're going to start middles, and there we have it. These are some middle options we reckon, and Frosty, we're going to make these like relatively quick. We'll talk about all of them, not too in depth, but leading the pack, there is Terrell May. A lot of people would have brought him in last week. He is 31% owned. Do you think he's a must-have, given that he plays both bye rounds?
100%, especially with Alex Twile going down too. He may miss the rest of this Origin period. So yeah, Terrell May is a must. He'll be the best mid over this time. The likes of Haas and that involved in Origin. So yeah, if you don't have him yet, he should be right at the top of the pecking order for this week.
Next up, Joseph Tapine, and it's someone that I think you've got. And along with, I guess, Corey Horsburgh and Aaron Clark, those three only play round 15, so they don't play round 18. But a lot of people might have them, and it might be someone they want to consider. But those three altogether, I mean, me personally, I only own Clark, and I'm pretty happy with Clark at the moment. I don't own the two Raiders players, but Frosty, if you were picking up a mid, would you still consider one of those three this week?
Yeah, I mean, team dependent. Make up of the rest of your team and how many guys you have lined up for 18. If you've already got a mid or two, I wouldn't mind picking up one of these guys. I'm just checking. I know that Tarpon and Horsburgh, the Raiders, play 19, which is that last minor bye. So if you do hold on to them, they will help out there. I'm just double checking the Warriors. The Warriors also play 19. So, yeah, they don't play the last major, but they do happen the last minor where the Broncos are out. So Haas, Willison will be out. Panthers are out. So the likes of won't be available to pick up after Origin. And then the Dragons are out, which the Couchmans, Stewart, and all those sort of guys also unavailable. So, yeah, these three guys here play this week, which is very handy. And then they help out in the minors as well. So I'll just take your pick, whoever you back, whether it's Clark as a Wars fan or one of the Raiders there. I think they're all great options for the next few weeks, and also should be able to be at least a bench scorer behind those powerhouse mids of Twile, May, who we just mentioned, Haas. One of those three guys should be your bench mid for the run
home. Lastly, we've got Cameron McInnes and Keanu Kolomatangi. So on the live stream this week, and we will do one again this Thursday, it was a pretty hot topic. Cameron McInnes and Keon Kolomatangi. A lot of questions as to who to pick. We sort of steered everyone in McInnes' way. Kolomatangi came out early and scored a try, so it's sort of, typical of what we suggest, something like that will happen. But he only scored a 47 in the end, so it probably was, I don't know, was it the right decision, those two? I mean, they were both subpar. I mean, looking at Cam McInnes here, he only played, I'm not sure how much minutes, not sure if you can see that, Frosty, but only scored 30. and he's very much a pod there at 1.1% owned. I do expect him this week, though, to get a lot more minutes with Jesse Colquhoun starting at prop. So McInnes with AFB out might have to play, hopefully for owners, 60 plus minutes. So out of those two, is it worth using a trade getting either of those two in, or is it you sort of hope you've got some of those top four plus like a Jackson Ford and a Xavier Willison, who we'll talk about in the edges?
Yeah, I mean, the three above play this week, don't play 18, but they have in the minors, and should be a bench forward for you at worst for the run home. These two here play both this week 15 and the last major buy round. But yeah, they don't have quite the upside this season as those three above. So they are slightly riskier pot options for that. But if you're a coach who's struggling with trades, I would understand it because you don't have to make a trade this week, getting in a Raiders or a Warriors, and then a second trade getting someone in for round 18. So I think these were more for those coaches. But McInnes only played 40 minutes. I'm not sure why. Because, super surprised to see him go for 30, but he should be getting that 55 to 60 minutes this week and moving forward. So I still like him more over Kolomatangi. Like you said, he came out and scored a try. 12 points there, if not say 14, and he still only scored a 47, and he has been struggling away this season. So, both not super solid, but I think McInnes still has the higher probability of averaging 48 to 50 for the run home.
Right, so that is our middles. We'll move on to the edges now, and there is a couple of jewels in here that actually play multiple positions. So I'll just quickly mention those. Xavier Willison is also obviously a mid, and that may be where you are playing him this weekend if you already own him, along with Jack Williams down the bottom there, who is mid-edge jewel. So, I mean, if you've already got two edges and like two of these, or you're somehow covered in another option, they might be slipping into your mids. But leading the pack this week, Kai Paul, and it's someone, Frosty, that we also talked at large about last week. Do I regret not bringing him in last week for Lasati? In hindsight, I do, but it was probably the right choice just in case something happened. I didn't want to be left with another trade in the bank and Kai Paul injured or suspended when I already had enough players last week. I wanted to guarantee it, but as it turns out, it would have been about a 30k, maybe 25k difference in price and a close to 30 points, about 24 points, I think, in scoring. So Kai Paul, he's coming in my team this week. Is he coming in yours, Frosty?
I brought him in last week, not for Lasada. I forgot who he came in for, but he was there out of need, so didn't mind that. But yeah, you did make the right play, and anyone out in your boat, waiting a week, the 30k and the 25 odd points isn't a massive game changer. Had he got injured or suspended, like you said, you'd be pulling your hair out, burning a second trade this week when most coaches are in the single digits.
Yeah, I probably would have deleted the app if I had brought him in last week and he got injured or suspended for a high shot or something. I'd honestly just about would have thrown the phone away. I'm just about at a breaking point when it comes to fantasy at the moment, so it is dire times. Next up there is Xavier Willison. Pretty straightforward. We think you should have him playing lock, Carrigan out. He's going to cover you for round 15 and 18. He does miss 16 and 19, which could be crucial, but it is 13-man week, so we hope you've got cover for that. So Xavier Willison, move on, Frosty. We both own him.
Yeah, and should still get handy enough minutes. Like before Origin period, he's getting that 55-minute mark off the bench. So fingers crossed he could average 50 and keep a bench spot for you on the run home.
So no surprises, no secrets, sorry. Those are who I'm playing on my starting edge this week, which I'm pretty confident with. The next four all have, well, maybe not Jack Williams, but the next three all have their sort of, I guess, issues. Zach Hosking, whether or not he holds his position for the rest of the season, we do expect him to be relatively reliable regardless. Tallis Duncan playing centre this week. It's never nice if you're an owner. But not to say he doesn't score a try, doesn't score right. He has proven himself to be an all right scorer at centre. And then lastly, Ewan Aiken should score fantastically this week if he plays 80 minutes on the edge. I own him, and I brought him 4 buy rounds. And I've got lucky, like, to be honest with you, I've got lucky that he's going to be here and available this week, playing edge. So last week was pretty tough when he scored a 28. But Frosty, out of those three players, do you own any of them? And would you even consider bringing them in?
I didn't own, but looking to bring in Zach Hosking this week.
You
Not
are.
only for this week, but just for the minor buys and all that sort of thing. And then I think, as I mentioned sort of last week, in that I do think he's still a cut price, a keeper edge if he keeps his spot for the rest of the season, which I do like his chances. So Taylor Duncan, like you said, at centre, I think he was there a few weeks ago. He's actually scored a 70 without scoring a try, but Hoskins probably more reliable to keep a spot. I think you mentioned last week or the week before that, unfortunately for Taylor Duncan owners and people looking to get him, he's first cab off the rank. And when there's any outside back issues, he's the one that shoots out at centre. But good news for people that own him. Buy next week in 16, and then I think we're aiming to get back for 17 for that game 3 Origin. So he should be back in the back row. Bad news for yourself and other Aiken owners because it might be short term, but at least you get one major buy with Aiken at back row.
Happy with that. And if he can score a 55 plus, that sort of is massive this week. I don't have to use another trade. So I did bring him in earlier as that coverage, which is, I'm happy I've got the two edges now. But sorry, I'm playing Willison on my in my mids, aren't I? I'm playing you and Aiken at my edge, along with Kai Paul.
Yeah.
Lastly, I just want to touch on is Jack Williams. He is 3.7% owned. We've talked about him quite a bit this season. I think he's been reliable without being like guns blazing, but he is a mid-edge. He does play remaining buys. He has got a pretty friendly buy schedule coming up. He's averaging 50. He's playing mid. Scored 59 last week, and we sort of expect him to be... last night. We sort of expect him to be similar scoring going forward. So someone that you could bring in and set and forget in your squad for the rest of the year.
Yeah, it's probably like the third or fourth time he's mentioned on our podcast this season, but like that's been him. He's been big minute, the go-to forward for the Eels. He's not going to shoot the lights out, but yeah, he's just a plotter who's averaged 50 pretty much from round 1 till now and should continue doing so. He's got 6 weeks or so until Paulo's back, and even then, he'll keep plodding away at that probably 70 to 80 minute mark anyway. And he played 15 and 18, so yeah, again, a great bench option. I think he is dual position as well. So
yes, he is. Covers the edge.
Enough.
Next up, we're going to talk halves. We'll glaze over this pretty quickly because most of these are pretty straightforward. Hopefully, you've got to this week without having to make trades. Starting off there, though, is Blues potential, I guess. Isaiah Katoa. I guess if Moses goes, doesn't get through training, but they must be pretty confident about it. Isaiah Katoa would likely come into the team. Do you expect him to start if that was the case, Frosty? Or does Ethan Strange go back to 6 jersey?
The coach was anyone other than Laurie Daly, I'd be saying that Ethan Strange would be a lock at the 6 jersey. But when he drops Olakwatu out of the whole team from starting in game 1, which they won, and he was a little bit gassy towards the end, but I thought he did a pretty good job and is damaging. You just don't know with Laurie Daly. And we were talking after game 1 in our chat with some of the other boys at Interleague and Fantasy, and with what that guy does with the blue setup, any game they win is a miracle. So, who knows if it's Katoa or Strange, but it should be Strange. But yeah, hopefully Moses pulls through and is good to go.
I do find it. I wouldn't be picking Moses, to be honest. Having not played, I wouldn't consider it. And for me, I do think Dylan. Actually, we'll save this for tomorrow night's podcast because I think I want to go over it a bit more. But I do think there's a few questions in that team, but I think we'll touch on it a bit more in depth. For now, though, we'll talk halves. Next up there, I personally was so thankful that Isaiah Katoa is 21st man, and I hope Moses is healthy because if Katoa is not there, I just don't think I'm going to be bringing anyone else in because I have Katoa, I have Jaden Campbell, and I'm happy with that for this week. And I have Fletcher Sharp as coverage in round 18. So I'm covered for halves as long as Katoa does not make Origin. So that would be devastating, and particularly if he was, 19th man or something and just couldn't play. Jaden Campbell there, I think, has been solid without being lights out. With Zane Harrison, who's also mentioned here in the side, it's not ideal for Campbell, but I think Campbell's good enough, has that X factor to score points big. So, and then lastly, those next sort of three are your cheapies, I guess, or your potential holds. I mean, Ethan Sanders might be a sell after this coming week, ahead of the next buy round. It's sort of, he's not really going to go anywhere price rise, and it's sort of not really someone you want to rely on as a 50-point scorer. So, Frosty, out of these, do you have two of these players already?
I have Katoa and Reynolds, and then I had Harrison, but like yourself, I pretty much just want Katoa. Moses to play for the Blues because I need Katoa, because I'm actually trading Harrison out this week as a third half. I don't need his points, and that allows me to bring in Zach Hosking, which solidifies my forward pack. So I've actually got three of them, but it should be Reynolds and Katoa hopefully. And Sanders will break even at 61. He's actually going to start losing a bit of coin. And Raiders have a buy. I think it's around 26. And if you've got Tarpany, you're going to get Stungy back in. And maybe you've got a Weeks or something like that. You don't want 3 or 4 Raiders in week 26. You might be out of trades. And that spells danger.
Jeez, I didn't actually realise you had Reynolds in. When did you get him?
That was, what's the pick? 2
Round
weeks ago,
13? Yeah, it must have been around 13-ish.
Yeah.
After his round 12
Or
buy.
14. Yeah, 13, yep.
Yeah. No, interesting. I didn't realise that was the case. Anything left there, Frosty, on the halves, or should we move on to the wing fullback?
Yeah, no, I think that's all. Most coaches should have 2 of those, and hopefully Katoa plays to save us that headache.
The only other thing I'll mention is Tamari Martin is, for the time being, holding his position. Not really a huge amount of news on Luke Metcalf, but for the time being, Tamari is scoring well, and he's earning you cash. So if you've got him, definitely hold him until something changes in that regard. Moving on to wing fullback.
Warriors wording after the last game against the Panthers, I think it was something like, Metcalf is there for if we need him. So it was more if we need him or when we need him, rather than he'll sort of be back in the side. So sounds good for TMM owners.
I'll tell you what, TMM, I just brought him up on screen here, averaging 64, negative 16 break even. He's 20% owned. That's not bad having in your team right now. So
his 3 games have been unbelievable.
He plays good too. Like I wouldn't be dropping him. I'm gutted he's not got that half wing fullback duel, because if he had the wing fullback, I would be bringing him in this week and playing him in my wing fullback. But I mean, I just can't justify spending a trade when I've got Katoa and Jaden Campbell. Knowing that I had those two earlier is why I haven't brought him in at all. But in terms of the cash gen, it would have just about been worthwhile. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago, Frosty. So if he keeps scoring 60 plus, I will be regretting that going forward. Moving on now, we'll go to wing fullback, and starting off there with Jack Bostock. So, I mean, I've brought him in quite a while ago now. We've talked about him at large. His position we think is secure now with Averillo going. Jack Bostock re-signed, and I think he's got the X factor. Dolphins are playing really well. I know he's a centre as well, so we're not talking about centres right now, but I'm assuming you've got Herbie. If you haven't, get Herbie. And then you've probably got Bostock as another centre if you don't already have the likes of Kyle Aero or someone like that filling that spot. So for me, he is a wing fullback, and thank God he is, because I would not have a wing fullback right now if he wasn't. So for me, Jack Bostock is a great option as a wing fullback centre duel. But then the rest of those, outside of Bostock, Frosty, is there anyone there that you would consider buying this week? Now, I know you own 2 of them, but tell me, before you say who you own, is there anyone that you would buy right now if you didn't have any of these right now?
I don't have any of them, and they only had Bostock at wing fullback. I needed 2. I would only buy 1, and honestly, it would be out of Iongi or Buller, because I'd have Herbie, I'd be getting Bostock in, or I'd have him, and yeah, I'd be staying away from Azarko purely because I don't want the 3 Dolphins. So I'd be out of Iongi or Buller, only one of them, but they are major pod plays.
I mean, I'm just bringing up Dream Buller here, 1.4% owned, massive pod. Only averages 41 for the season. I mean, he's only priced at 500k. He's likely to go down in money this week. He scored a 30 last week. It's just not inviting. So, like, straight away, I'm like, no, I don't personally want to buy that. I mean, Iongi...
When he scores a 30 and the Tigers got absolutely pants by the Panthers, it's like a 50, honestly.
Well, that is true. That is true. They do play Gold Coast Titans as well this week, so potential that there's a try or two there, maybe for him, or set up a try. Isaiah Yongi, got him up on the screen now, averaging 44, 3% owned, so another big pod play. Scored 45 last week. I think he scored a try, did he? I can't look at it right now, but I'm not sure if he did.
No, he didn't.
He didn't, so that is promising, but again, he's not a keeper in that position. And then, no spoilers, but Frosty, I can now reveal, but you have Izarko and Weeks in your team. You've got Bostock as a centre, do you, this week?
Yeah, I'm bringing in this week, and he'll be a centre. So I had Weeks and Izarko since round 12. Weeks playing 12 and 15 for me, and Izarko playing all 3. So.
And what's your sort of plan for those two for the rest of the season? Are you holding them throughout, or are you trading out the likes of Izarko after round 18? Or
yeah, Izarko will go because come round 21, I would have Izarko, Bostock, and Herbie, 3 of the 5 wing fullbacks. So Izarko's certainly going. He'll be upgraded to a keeper forward. Weeks will go to my 4th wing fullback, so he'll be my cover for the run home. And Bostock will be there on the bench with him. So Weeks and Bostock will become my cover. I've got the likes of Teddy, Walsh, Edwards at wing fullback, Herbie, and Chester, which one of those guys may come to Sangi out of Weeks and Bostock when Sangi returns.
Now, lastly, I want to talk about the last one here. And I'll just also Keanu Kinney. He's not listed on this, but he is in that same sort of ballpark as those middle 4 that you see on screen at the moment. Bostock, I think, is a genuine keeper, and Sagwell at the bottom there, I think, is someone that we're about to talk about, but he's a different sort of player. And I'd probably say Jai Gray, along with Kinney, are both sort of players that you could loop into the Weeks, Buller, Iongi, sort of like yes, they have the odd exciting attack, but they're not good base scorers, and they sort of need to try to bail them out. Keanu had a magic try and still only scored a 35, or I can't quite remember what it was, but it was in...
I think it was a 41 or something like that, so without that, he's in the 20s.
Exactly. So, I mean... Do you want to bring them in at 500k? Probably not, but you might need to bring someone in. Like, I've got to bring someone in just to have 12. And to be honest, Latrell Jr. might be that guy. He's averaging 43. He is playing centre. He should be here this week, and then I imagine he plays round 18 as well, because if Latrell's back, he probably plays Origin, maybe. So... I guess the question is, how confident, Frosty, are you that Sagwell could play 15 and 18?
Yeah, Latrell, back round 17, but if he plays, he should be there in Origin. Whiten's due round 18, so he'll be there or thereabouts. And Campbell Graham's just done his calf, I think, at training. So if that's, a 4-week plus thing, he may be out. So the chances are looking probably more than 50-50, I'd say, in his favour for playing 15 and 18. So, yeah, it's all right. He'll sit there for the next couple of weeks afterwards, by next week, and may not... should play 17 as well, because if Whiten doesn't return early, Campbell Graham's surely still out with the calf. So you might get 15, 17, and 18, and then, after Origin, he can go elsewhere.
Right. And that's basically our positional plays finished. But I just want to quickly read off a few more wing fullbacks, because I think this is probably the hardest position to fill this week. A lot of teams might only have one or none I mean, you're quite lucky that you already had 2 in Isaac on weeks. I had prepped Walsh and Bostock as my wing fullbacks, and then I was always going to make at least one trade. Was Seto 2 was going to be my trade out option. I'm just going to run through some other options that there are, but just stop me if you think any of them are exciting, Frosty. Otherwise, I'll keep talking. Tuapiki, Brian Kelly, Jai Gray, Taruva for the Tigers, Trey Fuller, Brimpson, nice and cheap, schools, the odd teens. Jesse Arthur's been playing awful. Cody Ramsey, he's got his spot back while Marky Mark's out with the Origin side. Makasini, he's just about basement price again.
He's going backwards from 300k.
He is going backwards. Kossi for the Rabbitohs. That's kind of it. It's
far out.
It is pretty
horrid.
Awful. I mean, there's Sean Russell. He's going backwards under 300k. Oh, Frosty, I don't know who to bring in myself because there's just no one. I kind of want to cash out to someone that might score a 40 this week that I know will play 18 as well. And I just don't know what to do at the moment. I've got Sedu 2 to trade out, essentially.
Latrell Stigmore is a better option than all those guys because at least when he's played, like he's averaging 43 and he actually looks okay.
He goal kicks as well.
Guys, yeah, they're going backwards from 300 to 350k. They're scoring teens low 20s. It is just horrid out there at wing fullback this week.
If you've made it this far, you've watched the swing fullback chat, it's probably because you need a wing fullback. So if you do, let us know in the comment section who you are thinking, because if there's anyone that you think is going to be a home run pick, please let me know. I need a bit of help here. Let us know. Also, I should have mentioned it at the start of the podcast, but any questions that do get asked tonight, we may bring up and read out tomorrow night on the next video. We will have a live stream Thursday night, so please get behind both of those. Leave us a question, do subscribe, and Frosty, I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy this one, talking positions.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one very much there, Stevo, so thanks, mate. Appreciate that.
And thank you, team. We will see you later, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
We appreciate your support for the Fantasy HQ podcast, all things NRL fantasy. Subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify and Facebook, and most importantly, thanks for watching.